Welcome, everyone, to Who Needs a Film Critic? I'm your host, William Yelton, and today we will be talking with 9 strangers who have just finished watching the Season 2 premiere of Euphoria for the first time. Tonight, we hear what these Euphoria superfans have to say about their thoughts on the episode. Represented on this panel are people from all different ethnicities, ages, geographic locations, and each of them have their own viewpoints as to what they've just seen. As with the case of any panel on this channel, all opinions will be respected, but debate is encouraged. So let's get right into it. Did the premiere live up to the 2-year hiatus? It took forever. It's finally here.
I'll start, I guess.
Jalen.
It was good. The premiere was really, really good. I loved getting a deep dive on certain characters we haven't seen before. However, for me, season 1 ended on this crazy note. I love that ending, like the scene with Zendaya and the song she did and the whole choreography, all that kind of stuff. I think I was expecting something just a little bit more extreme. The trailers showcased a lot about what's going to happen in this season, and so it was really, really good. Like, it was. I loved the premiere. I think I was expecting something just crazier. I don't know.
It lived up to it. I was excited. I was so ready. Like, I asked you, I was like, when is it coming back on? I didn't even know the premiere date. So I'm sitting here lost, like, well, when is it coming back on? Because I'm ready. I'm not a waiter. I'm kind of upset that it's going to be showing every Sunday. I almost want to watch next season, like tonight. Like, I was doing for other shows. Like, after the panel, I'm headed right to the TV. Like, okay, let me see what's happening. I'm ready. But
are you impatient in your real life as well?
I am. Need to get better at that.
Overall, in contrast to last season, you see a shift change. You know, season 1 was what I considered pretty dark, but this episode really set the tone for a darker season, and the graphics feel a little bit more grainy. And the skin of a lot of our main characters is very sweaty, and they're going to this party, but it doesn't look like anybody's really having a good time. You have the people in the background who clearly are having fun, but our main characters have all of this drama and these demons that they're battling at this party, where as a teenager you're actually supposed to be having a lot more fun than this. And so I really enjoyed watching this episode, and I was talking to a friend who said, she was holding on to her pearls, and that was me too.
I don't know if I had anxiety when I watched the first season, but this one for sure, I was like, oh my God, why am I so anxious like the whole time? So I definitely think that it is going on a darker, and it's just to push it to see how far, human psyche can go in the darkness, which can go pretty dark.
I almost feel like them bringing like the whole story back into one scene. We're just at this party almost the entire episode. It kind of like brings back like the reason why I love the show, which is like they're able to take real life moments and like really extrapolate them. And then to add to that, I love that they opened with a Fez episode. Like we never got a Fez episode season 1. So I think that was great.
Thank you so much for bringing that up, because, I know a lot of fans out there were excited to see Fez finally get a flashback. So in typical Euphoria style, which gives us kind of a backstory on one character, they choose to focus on Fez. So did we like this flashback sequence? What are some of the important things that we learned about this character? Samantha, you haven't spoken yet. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about regarding Fez?
So I think it was so interesting finding out more about Fez. I mean, just by the title of the episode and the description of the episode, I was, again, like someone said, clutching my pearls. I was so anxious that Fez was going to die this episode. I thought that was what was going to happen right from the start. But learning about him, I think you find out why he has such a gentle heart and how much he has cared so much about his family and, his little brother. I think it just shows his heart, how much he cares about Zendaya, and how he really will treat everyone like family. And he really cares about him, even though he's a drug dealer, and that's brought up a few times by Zendaya in season 1 when she's banging on his door. but they're still great friends. And I'm interested to see what happens with his grandma this season. I think that is going to come into play a little bit later on.
I love Fez. He's my favorite character. So when it was around him, I got so excited because I don't know, I just have like this really special spot for him. So I was really, really glad that the first episode was about him. Oh, he's a phenomenal actor. I just love the way he acts.
And this was his first ever role.
Yeah, I heard.
So he is a brand new actor on the scene. Raise your hand if you agree with Shahana that Fez is your favorite character.
Yes, I was going to say me and Shahana agreeing. Look at us. I'm just kidding.
So 4 people out of this panel have Fez as their favorite character. Romeo, why?
It was the BDE that he possessed, big dick energy. That he had. Honestly, no, I loved Fez the first season. I was wondering when we were going to get a little bit more of his backstory. So this was like a great, pleasant surprise. And then just like it's been said, just seeing why he is the way that he is with Rue and with his little brother and taking care of his grandma. And it's just the beautiful character because he has that moral dilemma that I think a lot of people face when it comes to being a good person, but making bad decisions.
I feel like we needed this from him. And I feel like in season 1 with Fez, you know, and even in this new episode of season 2, he has a very monotone voice, and his reactions to things a lot of times seem a little slow and delayed. And I feel like this episode really gave us some clarification on exactly what he's been through in his life at such a young age. So we get to see him as this kid being exposed to these environments. And, you know, he is just the product of that environment. Even now and in this very moment, because of everything that he's been through, I feel like that really played a big part in his reactions to things because he has seen so much from a kid. So there's not much that really surprises him. We see how he cares about Zendaya, and, you know, he knows that he doesn't want her to be on, you know, these drugs, but he also understands that she's got to make her own decisions.
Here's my question. Is Fez good for Zendaya or good for Rue?
She's probably going to get fucked up regardless without him. So it might be kind of good for Rue to have someone, you know, like Fez there. That's, I think like in the scene where they were in Lori's house and, you know, Lori's like, who is this girl? Like, do you trust her? Whatever. And he was like, that's like my family. I think that's kind of him saying like, she's going to keep relapsing and like being stupid, but I'm always going to be beside her because if I'm not, somebody else is going to like actually fuck her life up.
I think that question could be in the reverse because, you know, I feel as though Rue has put Fez in a lot of compromising situations. Just from that drug dealer that in the beginning, that's why Ashtray did what he did, like from last season. You know, we saw Rue creating issues for Fez and him kind of just picking up the pieces, and just because that's his family, he loves her, he cares about her, and that's just what he knows to do, is to look out for family. So I mean, I would kind of look at it like, is Rue good for Fez, you know? But yeah.
So is Rue good, or is Rue good for Fez?
Hell no. No.
She done lost her money. No, she's not. She's messing with his income.
That's interesting. Yep. I didn't think of it like that. That's interesting.
Well,
I think she means well, but like she's using him. Yeah. Whether she knows it or not, she's using him. But I think she means well, and she considers him family, just like he does.
I feel like so often when you see these types of characters in TV shows, they're very shallow. And I really like how they gave Fez a lot of depth. And I feel like what I got from Fez, like towards the end of season 1, and especially now at the start of season 2, is I almost trying to get the sense like he doesn't like Rue, but he's too scared to let go of Rue.
She's so effed up right now that she needs somebody, and he's just, as he said, he's like family, and he knows how badly she's missing Jules and wants to be with her, and there's no one else to support her, that he's got to take her where he goes, because if he doesn't, she's going to be in a lot more trouble.
While on the subject of Fez, let's just fast forward straight to the ending. Let's take a look at that last scene, the cliffhanger, and discuss.
Yeah.
What's up, man? You having a good time?
Yeah. The last time we talked, didn't you say you wanted to kill me?
Yeah, well. To a new year, Playboy.
Jalen, does it get any crazier than that? Come on.
That was the best part of the episode for me. That Nate had that ass whooping. That was long overdue. Like that was, I was watching it with my friend. My friend was freaking out and felt kind of bad. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you not watch season 1? All the crazy shit that he did to everybody else, including Fez, getting him raided was like the last kind of interaction they had. He was bitter that Fez stuck up for Rue and Jules and that whole crew. And Nate called the cops and got him raided and lost him a crap ton of money and put him in some crazy circumstances. But I'm excited to see what happens next between them two and their dynamic, because I know it's not over, because Nate is a bitter bitch and will probably figure some way to get back.
I can't stand him. That's probably my least favorite character. I didn't like him since the beginning. He's a woman abuser. He beats up on women, but I don't like him. I was so happy he was getting beat up, because like I was saying, they caused my boy Fizz a lot of money. Like he had to dump all that stuff. I'm not for the selling of the narcotics. I will say that, but I really loved it. I was enjoying all the blood dripping. I was ready. I was like, yes, get him. I was fighting with him. I was really punching the air. But he
Latoya, give me one good quality of Nate.
Oh, Nate. He's a handsome guy. He's cute. I'll give him that. But not no more. Not anymore. But I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, that's the only thing. That's it.
I had like mixed emotions with Nate, because like he obviously deserves it and all the things, but like he was attracted to Jules, right?
Is that debatable? Does everybody agree?
I don't think
No, he was trying to get her. He was trying to trap her. That's another reason I don't like him.
No,
I don't
but
know.
I mean,
I think I agree with Lauren.
I don't know if you've noticed the dude at the end and was like all in his ear and did you wear a condom and like he's projecting in his own self-hatred almost of what's going on. He doesn't know how to deal with it, whatever.
So you're kind of skirting around it without saying it, but you're saying you think that he
could be biased. And I mean, I don't know. That would be my assumption of the character.
That's kind of a great point to what I was just going to say. I think kind of beyond any sexuality, or I guess it could be very well tied into sexuality, I think power very much so with that family, especially with him and his dad. I think it's more than just,
except for his younger brother. He seems pretty chill.
Yeah, he seems like a typical, dude who might have his own issues, but I think power is definitely a struggle with Nate and his dad, and that's what is really behind all the anger.
I mean, I can't exactly say when I watched this I was surprised by the scene. I think that more what surprised me was seeing how everyone else reacted to the scene, because it almost felt like, and again, it's been a while since I saw season 1, but I was almost surprised at how it seemed like no one was really on Nate's side. Everyone was just like, I don't want to say glad Fez was beating him up, but everyone was just like, I almost feel like everyone else was like, well, he kind of deserves it.
I feel like Fez didn't know what he was actually going to do until the moment came. I feel like Nate, you see him give Fez that look, and I feel like it was in that moment that Fez decided that he was actually going to, take action, if you will. But it was also the reaction that Lexi had. She's like, this isn't the same guy that I was just sitting on the couch with. So I felt like that was very interesting, because they really panned over and, showed her reaction to it. And she seemed very confused.
Who agrees with that? Raise your hand if you think that he wasn't planning on hitting him over the head with a bottle until that conversation. 1. Wow, Randy and Jack, you're in the minority here.
I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was planned, because when he got off the couch after talking with Lexi, he called his brother, and his little brother went to Zendaya, Rue, and said, hey, if you want to ride now, we're leaving now. So I think they were getting ready for the shit to hit the fan. He was like kind of scoping it out, waiting for Nate, waiting for the opportunity, called his brother saying, I'm about to do this, about to go. that's why he grabbed Rue, saying, if you want to ride, now is the time, because they kind of knew something was going to happen, from what I remember. But I'm pretty sure it was planned. They knew they were going to do something.
He should have just gotten his younger brother to run up and hit him over the head with a hammer. All right, let's move on. Nate and Fez aren't the only duo that had unfinished business to attend to at the party. There was also Rue and Jules, whom finally were reunited. Let's take a look back at this scene and discuss.
Could I talk to you? Yeah. When'd you relapse? You want me to be honest? Yeah. The night you left.
That was a tough one for me because I felt for Rue in that moment, but I also felt for Jules because I can see the guilt in Jules' face, and she almost taking on all of that burden that she's the reason why Rue relapsed, when in reality, Rue's the reason why Rue relapsed. But it's hard to like think like that when you care about someone and you see them going through something and they kind of put you in those type of positions.
It sounds like you've gone through something very similar in your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I unfortunately had a friend that passed away from an overdose, and just in general, when I was around that friend and just the type of behavior that they exhibited and just my care for them, I wanted to be there for them, but I almost felt as though I was there for them a little bit more than they were there for themselves. And it's sad because I wanted to do more, but I couldn't do more. And I really felt for Jules because I feel like she really wanted to be there for Rue throughout this whole process, but it was just almost like she has her own life and her own issues and problems and things that she's dealing with.
We also learned that Jules's mom also has the same issues. And they talk about, how we attract the same issues. Like if we have issues with our dad, then we attract that same kind of personality into our life. It seems like her mom has that addiction. She's attracting that. That I guess when you want to fix something, you know what I mean, from your past, like you kind of relive it and find someone. And it's hard because she sees this person that she loves, but has the same issues that her mom does. But it was really, really a real scene because when she lost her dad, right? Rue did. And I don't know, I've lost my dad a few years ago, and it's so hard. And I don't know why no one ever talks about how hard it is to lose a parent. I mean, it's just throws you into the dark, deep end. So it's understandable how Rue got there.
Here's an interesting question. Should Rue and Jules be together? Raise your hand if you said, yes, they complete each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. No, they are toxic for one another. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. The no's have it.
No way.
I want someone from the no camp and someone from the yes camp to debate. Randy.
It's very clear that they are toxic for each other because you see earlier in the episode when Jules is actually dancing with Kat, she's talking about the upcoming year, and she said, I want to forget this whole year coming up. I just want to forget it all. And so when Rue and Jules have that interaction, it really confirms to Jules the reason why she feels the way that she does, and that she doesn't want to remember anything, because knowing that, she's a big part of the reason why Rue is the way that she is now, it's a reality that like, this is confirming why I need to feel the way that I do right now.
I kind of agree with you, but I disagree a little. I think that she wanted to forget the situation that she had, the bond, the thing she had with Nate. I felt like they were good for each other because when they were together, she wasn't doing drugs. She stopped mainly because of her. Jules said, I don't want you to be like this. And she stopped. I think they're good for each other in a sense of she could probably keep Rue straight. And it seemed like Rue can kind of keep her grounded as well.
It was really interesting because during the whole time of you speaking, you had Lauren nodding her head and you had Romeo shaking his head. So Let's go to Romeo first, and then to Lauren as to explaining why you're reacting that way to what Latoya was saying.
I can see that for sure, but trauma bonding is a thing, and it definitely is like very evident within their relationship. And truthfully, the whole reason why Rue relapsed in the first place was because she was getting clean for all the wrong reasons. She was getting clean for someone else. And when that person was no longer there, here she is back to using drugs again. And so I think that right there was just showing that you need to find the reason to get clean outside of this person, and just know that this person does love you and care for you, but that love and care doesn't always equate to y'all needing to be around each other, because there's some things that trigger Jules when she's with Rue, and vice versa. So I just don't think they would be good together.
And Lauren, you were nodding when Latoya was speaking.
Yeah, I was, and then he just very hit on some important points too. So I feel like they were balancing each other out. I felt like they were, but trauma bonding is 100%. I think probably what is going on with them as well. But I just feel like Jules was probably also just helping her maybe rediscover herself, or in the same type of sense as well of finding that light again. So both good points there.
It's obvious what Jewel is to Rue and the benefit. Does someone want to speak on, is there any benefit that Rue gives to Jules?
So I think this is a very interesting point that needs to be brought up. The show is narrated from Rue's perspective, and very early on in the show, we find out that Rue is not a reliable source. She admits it herself that, she does not have like the best, grasp on what's actually happening around her. And I think that's like such an important distinction when you look at how these characters think about each other, because a majority of the time when things are being narrated to us, it's only from Rue's perspective. So to answer your question, I don't know. And I think that's part of the point of the show, is we're not supposed to know, I think like two of the happiest times that we've seen in the show is when they're together or when they're on drugs. So it's really, which side of the coin is it going to land on?
I think that Rue gives Jules just someone who totally accepts her and sees her as she is. And I think that kind of goes into why I voted yes, that they should stay together, or that they could be good together, because I feel like at the end of the day, they're two people who genuinely love each other down to the core. They see each other for who they truly are and want to be. And they just each have their own shit going on. And it's like any other relationship where you just have to help the other person. And it really just depends on how much they're willing to help each other and stay with each other, I think.
I think in the beginning, Rue helped Jewel with her confidence a lot, but I think that now we're seeing her be a lot more confident without Rue. And I'm almost at this point like, is there a spot for Jules in this show if she isn't in a relationship with Rue? Either she leaves the show or she stays in the show purely so Rue can want her, or they end up getting back together, which I don't think is the best situation for either of them.
Before we get to the review, I just want to kind of go in rapid kind of fire. One of the most important parts of any premiere is that it's setting up future storylines of the season. So there's just a few kind of plot points I'd like to kind of get quick rapid fire takes on. So since we've already discussed Fez through a lot of this episode, why do we think the show spent so much time dedicated to his conversation between himself and Lexi? And what do we think about this pairing?
So I feel like maybe one of the reasons they're putting them together is to tie in Rue's past with her, the most recent version of herself. Her best friend since I don't remember when they said, but her childhood best friend. And then the person who's pretty much enabling her and giving her the drugs to do. So it is an unlikely pairing. I think it could lead to potentially leading them up to the situation where Fez gets the girl Lexi involved in drugs, and Rue feels responsible for bringing her childhood friend into this world, the world of drugs, and getting her addicted. maybe that's a direction that they could go that they're setting it up for. I don't know.
I love them together, honestly. I think we all kind of root for Fez, and the fact that he's finding love and like genuinely interested in somebody is something new. We've seen him care for Rue, but we haven't seen him like in a romantic setting. But I think that's kind of like a direction that I see it going.
Jalen said that he's sensing a little bit of romance brewing between these two. A very unlikely pair. Do we ship Fez and Lexi?
What does ship mean?
So,
Sorry.
well, let me tell you, Shahana. Ship is, do we like these two together romantically? Am I wrong? Does anybody want to?
You support it? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it could be friendship,
I guess
relationship, either way.
raise your hand if you ship Lexi and Fez together. All right, that is 6 people. Raise your hand if you do not. 3.
I don't think it's anything romantic. I do think that in this episode, we see Fez interacting with Lexi because we get to see him smile and we get to see him be a little normal for once. And so I don't think that there's anything romantic between that. But I think with Lexi at the end, seeing how Fez is acting, she sees how serious all of this has become. And I don't think she really wants to be a part of that. So at the end of the day, I think Lexi and Fez are going to work together to hopefully fix and heal Rue.
From my perspective, what I saw from it, when she saw Fez beating up Nate, it was one of those things inside of her head where she was kind of like, I think this is what I need to kind of get me out this little like hump that I'm in. But at the same time, just like, oh crap, am I ready for it?
Do we ship Cassie and Nate? Raise your hand if you ship Cassie and Nate. No hands.
Hell no. I just said poor Cassie. I just feel so bad for her.
Those parties are nasty. And you know there's no toilet paper going into that party. You got to go to the bathroom before you even go.
Don't put this on my face. It's just been in your vagina. What are you doing? And who knows who else used it? I mean, it could have been used as a hand towel for plenty of people. A spit, who knows?
And sometimes you might just witness someone sitting down and taking a shit.
Yeah. I'm so curious how they ask for casting calls for these roles. Like, what are they putting out there?
All I seen was penis. It was just there.
While we're on this topic, can I just note, I love that this show has really like broken the, I don't know, like the barrier between like female nudity and male nudity. Like I feel so uncomfortable seeing so many males nude, but I shouldn't at all because I see females nude in film and TV all the time. And I love that they're breaking the barrier on that. I mean, it could be a little overdone at times, I'm sure, for some people, but I think in general, like it's just like a weird small thing that I think is cool.
I think I could have done without the first penis shot, literal shot when he shot at the strip club. I could have done without that. Yeah. All right. There's only one thing left to do, and that is to review. Each of you has sent me your ratings for this episode, 1 to 5. 1 meaning you hated it, and 5 meaning you absolutely loved it. I have averaged all the numbers together, and it is time for me to reveal the results. Tonight, the panel has rated this episode as a 4.
I rated it a 4 because I really enjoyed the episode. It really brought me back right to the feeling that the first season gave me with that fun, the party vibe, that so much happening all at the same time, really threw me back into the story, but I feel like they have so much more planned for us, so I didn't want to give it that 5 yet.
I rated it a 2, and what this kind of came down to for me is as soon as I finished watching it, I started thinking about that compared to the season 1 premiere, because I'm pretty sure that was the episode where she was like walking on all the walls and stuff. And to me, that was the episode, obviously, because it was the pilot that like really hooked me into the show. And I think if I wasn't already as invested into these characters, I wouldn't be hooked enough to continue watching this season if I didn't already have so much investment into them.
I rated it a 3. I had to stop myself from hitting 4 because I love Euphoria so much. I had to really look at the episode. And yeah, I mean, we waited 2 years for a new season, and it was great. It was awesome. I love the show. I love the episode. But after 2 years, I wanted more crazy.
I rated a 5 because I really felt the need to love Fez, because that is my friend now. Fez, that's my buddy, my favorite character. And Nate being my least favorite character, they were both shown in this episode in the ways that I wanted to see them. I wanted to see more Feds, and I wanted to see Nate get beat up. So I felt like I got everything I needed from this first episode. I don't even see no more. Well, I do need to see more, but I was very satisfied with this episode. Everything I wanted came to, to life.
All right, that concludes today's episode on season 2, episode 1 of Euphoria. Come back next week to hear what some of these panelists have to say and more panelists have to say about episode 2. And to the viewers watching at home, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are also on the podcast app, so type Who Needs a Film Critic to get all the episodes downloaded straight to your phone. That's all for now. Good night.